Born in the Eastmoreland neighborhood of Portland, Peter Tunno was like many young men of his time, enthralled with flight, and he longed for a place in the sky. He attended Benson High School to study aviation and turned his dream into a reality as he learned to fly in a Piper Cub at Swan Island Airport. He soloed at 16. But the times were tough, and his widowed mother, who was supporting 7 children, signed for Peter when he chose to join the Marine Corps at 17. He served as an MP, but really wanted to fly, and was planning to join the Royal Canadian Air Force. Then, the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor, and everything changed. Tunno's commanding officer discovered that he had a pilot's license, and with the Marines needing flyers desperately, Tunno was transferred to pilot training. He did well in training and achieved the highest scores then to date at Pensacola in celestial navigation. He won his wings as a master sergeant and was assigned to VMF 113 at MCAS El Toro, California. The unit, which was one of the first to receive the new F4U Corsair, was quickly sent into combat against the Japanese in the Marshall Islands. During a raid over Ponape in May 1944, Tunno shot down an enemy fighter, destroyed a patrol boat, and damaged a second because, as another pilot said, his Italian dander was up. Subsequently, he was commissioned as a first lieutenant, which was rare for somebody who had never even finished high school. In addition to flying the Corsair in combat, Tunno also worked with Vought field service techs to engineer changes to the aircraft's tailwheel. These changes made their way into production Corsairs and helped improve its carrier operation. After the war, Tunno went into the Marine Reserve and returned to Portland to marry and start a family, but the peaceful interlude was short. Having resigned his reserve commission in 1948, he re-enlisted for active duty for the Korean War, but was denied flight status. Instead, he served in aviation maintenance with VMF 323, keeping their Corsairs flying in support of the troops in combat. After Korea, he returned to the U.S., and while stationed in Miami, he restored a Stearman biplane for fun. He used the aircraft for towing banners, skywriting, and aerobatics, and even for film work. Later, he modified it and flew it at air shows with a wing walker. Mustering out of the Marines at El Toro, he continued to fly and perform throughout California before he returned to his native Oregon and settled in Estacada. He next restored an N3N Yellow Peril and took it to many air shows, performing aerobatic routines to thrill the crowds. He was always working on improving the airplane's performance and was a longtime member of the Northwest Antique Aircraft Club, a big part of their activities and fly-ins. At home in the air, Peter Tunno lived to fly, but he was also committed to serving his fellow man and spent over a decade with Meals on Wheels until he was no longer able to drive. Peter P. Tunno passed away in 2005 in Santa Paula, California.